I took a bit of a beat down over New Year's, of course. You know, I used to have a pretty good job, but, you know, I'm just kind of having one of those moments where you just wonder, what the hell does everybody do for a living? For God's sakes. Can't be that many millionaires in America. Anyway. I couldn't afford the upkeep on most of these houses, for God's sakes. I wouldn't even want to. Take you a whole day to dust. But it sure would be nice to have a little pier. Now that'd be pretty cool. It's like a little shack with a pier. That's what I need. Ah. I don't want to jinx myself. I totally don't want to jinx myself, but I've been looking for some like 2/3 way points or halfway points where I can do a haul out on my way back north, if I come back north. And this kind of seems like a cool place. Holden Beach, I think. I don't know, I'll have to look it up, but you know, along the intercoastal. Looks like a pretty cool place. This guy over here gets the coolest dock award. It's like the back end of a boat, but it's the dock and it just says chillaxin. Anyway. This is about as close as you can get to the ocean without being able to get there. It's just too shallow, and I mean, the weather tomorrow is gonna be terrible, and still motorboat Swan for now, but alright guys, you gonna make an appearance? There you are, going underneath. So this is part of the ICW they refer to as the rock pile. And if you can see behind me, it's pretty narrow.
Right there's the shoreline, and you can see the rocky outcroppings.
I got two sailboats in front of me, and there's a swing bridge. I don't know, I'd say 15 minutes it'll take to get there at this point. I'm staying dead center channel. I'm seeing 16 feet, 15 and a half, and I'm at
A lower tide.
But it is really narrow. Like if you were trying to get past somebody in here, or a barge was coming, you're waiting. You know, you would be going back a little bit, and I mean, hell, I'm pretty decent spinning it around in a fairway at this point. I got a little wind on the nose, but you know, I don't have to worry about that, so I guess I shouldn't really think about it. But I can imagine a lot of people thinking, uh-oh, this rock pile, and then like fearing about it. my thought was, it's not going to change the fact that I got to go through it, you know, so anyway, it's going to widen up here in about, I don't know, 200 yards, and then I'll start seeing the swing bridge. I'm going to hop on channel 9, and because that's the channel the swing bridge monitors, at least according to Navionics, and listen for these guys, because I might catch up to them if they have to slow down for it, and we can all three get together, go through together. I'll see, but it's usually the way they like to do it, but I'm probably 10 minutes behind them, so they'd have to really slow down. I don't know, see what happens. Yeah, so they slowed down and waited for me back at the bridge. It just kind of made more sense to get all three of us through at the same time.
So I got them up ahead.
Now there's another swing bridge, but it's, I don't know, 2 hours and 40 minutes or so away. I mean, maybe less if I can get the tide and current to change. That'd be something. No, if the tide and current changes, you know, maybe we start making some better time. But it's been slow going today. I mean, right now I'm actually up to about 4.3 knots, and that's it. I mean, I'm just crawling along. It's just been a heavy current against this morning, so I kind of pushed it for a little while going through the bridge, but I backed it off. I just kind of want to be nice to Swan, you know. I'll take the extra hour if I, you know, because I have the time today. So how about designing a golf course with the ICW, with the ICW being your water hazard? It's a hell of a water hazard. And no getting those back. Alright, so here's current situation. The anchorages along the way didn't look all that great, and I found the one that I was kind of my last one that actually looked wider, and in a way is wider. However, it's weirdly deep. The instruments are reading 32 feet, and I have about 140 feet of chain, and I hadn't connected up the end of the road. So I let out 120, which is only 4 to 1, roughly, right? Usually when I let out 5 to 1 in calm anchorages. Now it's very calm. The winds tonight are supposed to be, I don't know, 12, but they're supposed to be 12 right now. And with the forest right here, it's all blocking it. Now, the thing is, I need to watch out for that swing, because there's not a whole lot of room over off to my side, and this other guy over here totally didn't watch out for his swing. Looks like there's a lot more space there than you'd think, but there's maybe 70 feet, and I've let out 120, so like, you know, 30 feet down, and then another 20 kind of laying along, and then you got another 30 feet back up, so there's about 80, so I should really only swing 40 feet, roughly. I mean, you know, but I got this little barge over here. Heading back out of my little anchorage onto the Waccamaw or Waccamaw or however. Anyway, this place looked pretty cool. There's so many places I wish I would have left earlier in the season. You could have taken a couple days here, a couple days there. I mean, really kind of like I hate to say it this way, kind of like a backwoods type. Like, I was rolling in, there was guys were shooting off, you know, shotguns, and like pop, 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 pop. So I knew they weren't aiming at anything, you know. But I was trying to go, all right, well, should I be ducking or something? Anyway, they were all standing on like the bank of a little tiny island, you know, in their little boats, and they had sped by me earlier. Like they have these kind of longer, you know, fishing boats, John boats, and they have huge engines on them. I'm talking 100 horsepower, and just flying, you know. All right, man, that's just a good old boys, you know. It kind of reminds me of home in a way. But anyway, off we go. I got a 4-hour day today. Then I'm gonna hunker down for a day, maybe 2, probably 1. We'll see. See how that rolls. So with the first part of the journey on the intercoastal, other than it kind of just being a kind of a stranger environment for me, and it's not the Waccamaw, that's up in Northern Neck, Middle Neck, Northern Neck, Virginia. Anyway, the intercoastal, and I know it gets way more narrow again, but the intercoastal had been narrow, and you're watching for shoals, and but this Waccamaw or Waccamaw or whatever has been pretty forgiving. Now today's overcast because the storms are coming in tomorrow. I left the anchorage at Bucksport, that interesting anchorage. She held, I pulled up only a little clump of mud, and wasn't much on the chain, so I don't know how well things would have held in like a bad weather situation, judging from that one boat that was just kind of sunken right beside me. But yeah, this is nice. I got the 30 feet of water, and you know, a couple 100 feet on each side. It's been pretty nice. Passed another place where I really could have anchored. I probably would have preferred is someone to mark that on my Navionics for if there's ever a next time. I'm got the current with me, so I'm actually doing 6.4 knots, and I have her throttled back a little bit today. But yeah, this is it's a pretty nice cruise, though it's pretty brisk this morning. I'll be going to Heritage Plantation Marina. Not a whole lot, in fact, like nothing right around there. But they say they have Uber and Lyft service. So while it's raining and everything tomorrow, I might take that opportunity to go somewhere. Tonight I'll probably do an oil change, or this afternoon really, while it's still warm, from having run it. That's usually the best way to do it. So, yeah. So I show you a little bit about what the current's like in the Waccamaw, whatever, river. That's what got me here so fast today. I am at Heritage Plantation Marina. Yeah, the dock attendant here, amazing. He's the guy, he's like the only guy on staff here because it's off season. But he, yeah, he was awesome. He got me tied down perfectly, a bunch of spring lines. I got every bumper out. Anyway, can't say enough. Like I said, there's not a whole lot around here. I'm about to go see what I can find. My little space heater starting to go, kind of make some noises, so I'm not leaving it on when I'm away anymore. Yeah, so I need another one of those, some fresh veggies and stuff. So there is Uber and Lyft available. I'll see what that looks like around here. Yeah, Heritage Plantation Marina on the Waccamaw River in South Carolina. So the thing too with the weather routing and planning is if it gets, so it's supposed to be bad. If I left early enough on Wednesday, like bad weather's tomorrow, if I got up and left, it's still kind of rough weather Wednesday morning first thing, I could do a whole day and it calms down that evening, and another day could get me to Charleston to weather out the next storm. So it's either that with tight timing depending the currents, you know, trying to get into anchorages at night by yourself is a little tough. And there's several other people that are starting to kind of find these marinas. They're on the kind of the same storm schedule that I am. You know, 20 knot winds, 25 knots, you know, with maybe 30 gust for hour, 2, 3. Okay, but you know, 45, 49, 50. Nah, you want to be tied up. You know, unless you can find a wide open anchorage, but then you're not protected. So you'd find like a huge, like, bunch of mangroves or trees, and you know, kind of like the forest that we're back there a little ways. If you could find that and the wind's coming from that side, and you could dock in there, and then, you know, if for some reason your anchor were to let loose, you're going, it'll you know, eventually reset itself. I also use an app called Anchor Alarm, and you know, I think I mentioned that in the previous video, but still, in a pinch, you want it to be able to rehook and grab mud, sand, whatever, reset itself and stop you. But if you still, you know, you slide, you know, 100 feet in a small anchorage, that could put you on shoals or shore, you know. So anyway, that's the reason for like chilling out at a dock. So I have to decide, am I here until next Saturday and it's Monday, or do I push it in not great conditions? You know, it's kind of one of those things. Come on, you're a sailor, you could do, yeah, but you know, trying to pull off a dock and, you know, 25 and 30 knot winds on Wednesday morning, rain, yeah, it'll calm down in the afternoon, but if I were to leave in the afternoon, I don't have enough time to get anywhere else safe for Friday's next brawler, you know. So that's the scourge of this crazy winter. It's just, there's no like, give me a 4-day stretch, 3 days even, you know. That way it gives me plenty of time to get somewhere else, find a nice anchorage, find another marina that's not expensive. This place isn't expensive, but it adds up, and it's been adding up. You know, I'd planned on spending most of this time anchored. And then with a $2,000 water pump repair, you know, like $1,400 for the services and the parts, and the rest was dockage when I hadn't planned on it. So unplanned dockage, an expense that you have to account for. Not my finest reckoning, you know. Oh well, I'll figure it out.